when people are sitting here telling you that this neighborhood is falling apart. Right. These houses are falling apart. I mean, yeah. And we're still thinking about moving forward with this, completely, basically ignoring what people are saying. And this is why people have such an issue with Roanoke City.
This plan focuses on the neighborhood center, and part of that is, how do we create places for entrepreneurship and, investment in that former commercial center there. This plan did not look at the neighborhood. This was not a neighborhood plan. This was a neighborhood center plan, because we were doing this in other areas of our community as well. We looked at the success of Grandin Village and Lucina and even Crystal Spring to a degree.
But in order to be able to develop entrepreneurship and all that stuff, who's going to come there? The neighborhood, which is barely surviving, right. Those people are not coming there. So where are the people coming from that these businesses will make money off? When you drive through the street, those homes need to be dealt with.
We have
to bring people in here to need a medical center, to need a shopping center. To me, you're doing it backwards.
The city's not doing code enforcement or anything.
Until you clean all that off, I'm not interested in anything you build here.
About this, and nothing has. We have a broke down, rehabbing, beautification, fixing up.
Just to be very clear, and I agree with you that homes do need to be improved. Absolutely. But we were looking at a very small area.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the people who are going to patronize those businesses are coming out of homes that are falling down.
I was curious, when you mentioned going back to the core and starting again, ma'am, what did you envision that would look like?
To start with the homes, to give incentives for people to fix up their homes. Take some of this money that's going around and make them strong again. They don't necessarily, some may have to be torn down because of the amount of work, but a lot of families are still living there that have been there for generations and generations. They would love to see their neighborhoods built up, but they don't have the money to do it. So if you have tax incentives to start with that, you bring the people into the neighborhood.
It reminds me of how the city focuses their community development dollars in target areas. So currently we're in the Belmont-Fallon target area over in Southeast, and so we're doing a lot of the work that you're talking about. We know that we are coming back to Northwest in a few more years. The idea originally was to purchase a property and rehab it and make it a community hub. And none of our attempts to purchase property have worked to this point. And so we have that money, and then we're looking at what the next steps are. So we're starting to re-engage some people in those conversations to see if anything's changed. But now that we have this plan, we may have to start looking at different ideas as well. But that money was particularly set aside through the American Rescue Plan Act process, which was, a community group that came up with lots of different ideas to utilize that money. And one of them was a Gainsboro neighborhood hub. And so we had $5 million allotted for it. This plan is a little bit separate from that ARPA money. So just to, the $5 million is a part of this project. Could be something, this project may point out areas that we need to invest to do that. But the Gainsboro hub was its own thing. Tried to have some movement on that, but we have not been able to purchase the properties that we tried to obtain.
Can that money go into housing restoration?
It could. I mean, that would be a change from what it was originally designed and called out to do.
$5 million could do a lot of work.
Right. Well, and we also, and I say it could, let me be clear, we do have to make sure we meet the requirements of the American Rescue Plan Act too, so I'd have to think about how that fits within an eligible category to do it specifically housing. But my goal when I leave here today is that if we get a sense that we can move forward with this plan, get this to City Council, then beyond that, it's my job to work with you all to try to figure out how we implement it. And so that may be, follow the plan exactly, or maybe you only like parts of the plan.
listening to everybody and having my own thoughts, I don't see this as a necessary plan.
We mentioned a couple things that housing needs to be the main focus, but this particular plan, you know, that was not the focus. It was.
So you would still go forth with that plan?
Well, I mean, I don't know,
benefit other
that's
people.
my question for you all, I guess. If we don't do something like this to build back some of the commercial area, build that neighborhood center again, then what do we do with that area? I mean, that's the kind of questions I have for you.